In a world that just feels more and more chaotic, where do you even begin to look for peace? Well, the answer might actually lie in a philosophy that's over 2,000 years old. Today, we're diving into Stoicism, and we're going to see how this ancient way of thinking gives us a super powerful, really practical toolkit for finding mental clarity, not tomorrow, but right now.
Okay, let's just jump right in with this zinger from the Stoic philosopher Seneca. Seriously, think about that for a second. How much of your day-to-day stress is just from worrying about stuff that might happen? All those worst-case scenarios you play out in your head that, let's be honest, almost never actually happen? This idea right here gets to the absolute core of modern anxiety.
And that leads to a really powerful question. What if controlling your anxiety wasn't some fantasy, but an actual skill you could learn? Well, the Stoics believed it was, and they basically developed what you could call an operating system for the mind designed to do exactly that.
So what is this system? We're talking about Stoicism. And look, it's a philosophy that was basically built for dealing with crisis. It's all about rationality and self-control. But let's get one thing straight. This isn't about becoming some emotionless robot. It's about not being a slave to your emotions. Big difference. And this, right here, is the key. Stoicism was never meant to be some dusty academic theory. The Stoics saw it as a practical guide for life, a set of rules for living a good life, especially when things get messy. And it all boils down to one simple thing: the meaning that you give to the things that happen to you.
So why are we talking about a 2,000-year-old idea today? Why does it feel so relevant? Well, it's because while our technology and our world have changed, our fundamental human struggles, those battles we fight inside our own heads, they are absolutely timeless.
I mean, just take this feeling of obsession. This is from someone who's wrestling with these compulsive thoughts, where just one idea is costing them their sanity. That feeling of being trapped inside your own mind, wow. I think a lot of us can unfortunately relate to that on some level.
Or how about this one? This deep, gnawing struggle with guilt. Even after being forgiven, this person is completely haunted by a past action they can't change. It's a feeling so powerful, it's creating this constant, crushing sorrow.
And finally, this feeling of just being completely worn out. A lifetime of painful lessons that have led to this profound sense of loneliness. See, these aren't ancient problems written on some old scroll. This is real, raw, human pain, and it's happening all around us right now.
So, the big question is, how do we break free from this kind of suffering? Well, the Stoics had an answer, and it came down to one single totally transformative idea. This is the key.
This idea right here is the turning point. It's a game changer. It's called the dichotomy of control, and it's how you start to take your power back. It's a really simple but incredibly profound filter for your life. You just have to learn to separate what you can control from what you absolutely 100% cannot.
And honestly, this might be the most important takeaway of the whole thing. So much of our anxiety, our frustration, it comes from us trying to control the things on the left side of this list. What other people think, the past, the future. The secret of the Stoics is to take all of that wasted energy and pour it into the column on the right. Your judgments, your actions, your choices. Look, you can't control if you win the game, but you always control how you play.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But how do we actually put it into practice? Let's open up the Stoic toolkit and look at a few tools you can start using today. This is where the philosophy really becomes action.
All right, here are 3 simple but seriously profound tools. First, all day long, just ask yourself the question the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius was constantly asking himself. Is this necessary? You'd be amazed how much peace you create by just cutting out non-essential thoughts. Second, journaling. It helps you untangle your thoughts and get ready for whatever's coming. And third, and this is a big one, reframe your obstacles. Stop seeing them as roadblocks and start seeing them as fuel to make you stronger.
And when you start consistently using these tools, something really cool happens. You fundamentally change your relationship with life's challenges. It stops being about trying to avoid hardship, and it becomes about building that inner strength to handle whatever life throws your way.
And really, who could say it better than the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius himself? This was arguably the most powerful man in the world at the time, and he's reminding us that our true power, it doesn't come from controlling the world outside of us. It comes from mastering our own mind. That is where you find real strength.
So, I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. Based on that simple but incredibly powerful idea, the dichotomy of control, what is one thing that you will choose to stop worrying about? One thing from that
out of your control column that you will decide, starting right now, is no longer worth your time and energy.